StudyIQ IAS, अब तैयारी हुई अफोर्डेबल।
Hello, namaskar, namaskara, namaskaram, namaskar. My name is Pooja Dwivedi. Welcome to my class, The Daily Current Affairs. I have seen that many students who write good answers, who have the potential of clearing mains, they lack these skills that are needed to clear prelims. So I'm here to help you through that. As in, prelims are becoming insurmountable as the years are passing by. So if we have to ensure that we rise up to the occasion and meet the challenges of solving preliminary question, we have to attend this class daily. Now, do not worry about making notes. Do not waste your time on making notes because I provide the PDF that I'm using on my Telegram channel, that is by the name of Pooja Dwivedi UPSC. If you have any doubts regarding this examination or whatever I teach here, if you have any issues regarding strategy making, you can talk to me on my Instagram as well. I also conduct answer writing sessions on my Telegram channel, so you can be a part of that as well. Let's begin with these very many events that we have to cover today. Before that, I would like to inform you about the P2I batches that are going to start from 11th of August for the year 2024. If you haven't taken admission as of yet, this is your time because we are running short on time. I will be taking up in the classes in the P2I batches as well. So do not worry about that. Also, you will be provided everything. You will be provided prelims test series, mains test series, daily answer writing practice, current affairs module, as well as a mains residential program for those students who are going to qualify prelims 2024. You will be called to the StudyIQ campus so that you can stay there for 4 long months, study there without any sort of distraction. We are going to provide you lodging facilities as well. It's available in Hindi, English and a hybrid batch English. Also, another thing is that if you use the code PDLive, you will get this particular batch which costs 70,000 at just 29,999 only. If you take admission as soon as possible, we will also be able to provide you study material before the classes begin. So let's move ahead and talk about the previous practice question. Many of you have answered it correctly. The Muslim Women's Rights Day is celebrated on. These are the options. The correct answer is 1st of August. This is at the backdrop of the Triple Talaq bill, which actually outlawed the Triple Talaq that was practiced by the Indian Muslims. Moving on. The Supreme Court actually in August 2017 said that the practice of Triple Talaq is unconstitutional. Here in Triple Talaq, the husband used to divorce his wife by saying talaq, 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 by pronouncing talaq 3 times. And that was an acceptable practice. But when it was seen that the women are at the mercy of their husbands, it was thought by the Supreme Court that this is unconstitutional. So, taking the cognizance of this particular case, the central government brought in the Muslim Women Bill in the Parliament. First, it was passed in the Lok Sabha, but in the Rajya Sabha, due to opposition, it wasn't passed. Later on, when again it was introduced, it was passed in both the houses, and that was in July 2019. It outlawed instant triple talaq. It set forth 3 years in jail for whoever violates this. Also made the violator liable to pay a fine. Alright. Now, Shah Bano Begum and others versus Muhammad Ahmad Khan, Shaira Bano versus Union of India and others paved the way for the unconstitutionality of this particular triple talaq, because they were violative of Article 14, right to equality, other than that 15, 21 and 25 of the Constitution. Then, of course, from this perspective also you can get a good prelims question. So these are the small facts that are important for your mains as well. Moving on, with respect to the section 144 of the CrPC, we have to see the statements. The orders to impose section 144 have been conferred to the Home Ministry of the state when there is an emergency situation. The suspension of internet can take place under this section. If any person is charged with carrying weapons after the imposition of this section, they can be imprisoned for up to 2 years. So what do we have to see? How many of the statements given above is or are correct? Section 144 of the CrPC comes handy in order to restore peace and tranquility in a region which is riot hit. Recently, we are seeing that new riots are taking place and section 144 has been imposed there. Also, section 144 has been in so much in the news right now, you will definitely get a question. So, section 144 actually empowers the executive magistrate of the state or the union territory to impose it and not the home minister. So, first statement for that very matter is incorrect. Second, the suspension of internet. Right now we are seeing that not only people meeting together, but also sending messages through social media platforms can rile up other emotions, and then they can enrage the people, and hence riots take place. So under this particular section, internet suspension can also be done. Also, for the very basic thing, it prohibits the assembly of 4 or more people. Anybody who is a part of that assembly after the imposition, that will be called an unlawful assembly, and they can be charged under section 144. Other than this, if somebody is carrying weapons after the imposition of this particular section, they also can be imprisoned up to 3 years and not 2 years. So first is incorrect, second is correct, third is also incorrect. Here it is written 2 years, right? No, 3 years. So up to, as in minimum to maximum 3 years. So up to, it should be 3 years. Alright. So only one is correct, right? One only will be the correct answer. Today only I have covered the no riots in a very unbiased manner. So please go and watch it before commenting anything. Okay. Moving on. Section 144 of the CrPC of 1973 has empowered the executive magistrate to impose this section to prohibit the assembly of 4 or more people in any area. And according to the law, every member of such unlawful assembly can be charged for rioting. Section 144 also restricts carrying any sort of weapons. I have already told you this. This also empowers the authority to block the internet access. Some of you may be thinking, for how long? It can extend up to 2 months generally. But if the state thinks that it can get an extension of up to more 2 months, that can be done. And the maximum extension can be given for 6 months, not more than that. And it can be revoked whenever it is felt that the peace and tranquility has come back. Okay. With respect to PM Kusum scheme, which of the following statements is not correct? It was launched by the Ministry of Renewable Energy, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy in 2018. It aims to enable farmers to set up solar power generation capacity on their arid lands and to sell it to the grid. The scheme is expected to increase access to electricity in rural areas. When implemented fully, this will lead to reducing carbon emissions by as much as 32 million tons of CO2 per annum. Now, we know that under the Paris Agreement, earlier we took a stance that by the year 2030, we will ensure 40% of our installed energy capacity comes from renewable energy. That means we will not use coal or any other thing more than 60%. It's not going to be like that. Recently, it was upgraded. Now we have to achieve 50% of the installed capacity because we are doing pretty well in the renewable energy sector. So the PM Kusum scheme is definitely going to help in that. Under this, which was launched by the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy in the year 2019 and not 18, option A itself is incorrect. Other than this, it aims to do all these many things. For example, with the help of setting up of such standalone, grids, standalone solar panels, what will happen? That the farmers, first of all, will get electricity, and if they are generating electricity, which is much larger than their need, they can also sell it. And it will create a really good platform for providing electricity in the rural area, also providing employment. Other than this, when it is implemented fully, it will be achieving a reduction in carbon emission by as much as 32 million tons of CO2 per annum. So you have to specifically remember this because tricky questions can be made from here. So option A will be the correct answer. Government has recently said that nearly 2.46 lakh farmers have benefited from this scheme. PM Kusum, that means Pradhan Mantri Kisan Urja Suraksha Evam Utthan Mahabhiyan. Earlier, it was supposed to be for a shorter span of time, but later on, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, it has been extended up to 31st March 2026. So another thing that you have to be updated about. Now, PM Kusum was launched by the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy in 2019 to endow installation of off-grid, that means other than the grid, solar pumps in rural areas so that they cannot be just dependent upon grid energy. It will enable farmers to set up solar power generation capacity on their own arid land, that means which are not in use. Also keep that in mind. Not, why would a farmer want to put the pumps, solar power generation in somewhere there they are actually having crops on. So from that perspective, you have to think about that. And then it will increase the income of farmers by allowing them to sell surplus solar power to the grid. the more energy they will be able to pump through these solar power panels. They can sell it as well. So employment opportunities are also there. There are three components, A, B and C. In A component, there could be an installation of up to 10,000 megawatt of solar capacity. Small power plants of capacity 2 megawatt are supported here. It can be done by farmers, panchayats, cooperative, farmer producer, etc. in barren land. Okay, remember this word, keyword, barren land. Then component B, here the installation of 20 lakh standalone solar powered agriculture pumps can take place, and government will support individual farmers in setting up of solar pumps of up to capacity of up to 7.5 HP. Another thing is that certain datas are important. So you have to remember that these datas are important. Other than this, many students also ask me why do we need to remember datas? See, some datas are so important that they can reflect in your prelims paper. Some datas are important enough that they can fetch you brownie points. If you write these data, then what will happen? The examiner will think that you are a really good student who has studied a lot. So this will work in your favor only if you remember data. If you don't remember data, you will get an average marks in your mains examination. If you do, then brownie points. Under the component C, the government will work for the solarization of 15 lakh grid connected agricultural pumps. As you can see behind me, amongst the leading states for this project is Rajasthan, Haryana, Punjab, Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. Alright, moving on. Consider the following statements with respect to the flag code of India. The flag can be of any size, keyword here, by the ratio of the length to the height of the flag is 3:2. Height here means width only. Okay, this is width only. The flag code of India has been amended only once. So let us see which of the statements given above is or are correct. The furling, unfurling, everything that is related to our national flag is dealt by the flag code of India. So we have to know about it. This flag, the Indian flag, can be of any size. That is true. And the ratio of length to width should be 3:2. This is the criteria according to the flag code of India. So this is definitely correct. And the flag code of India has been actually amended twice. So that the Tiranga campaign that took place on the 75th day of independence, 75th year of independence, that could take place. So it has been amended twice. So one only is correct. Okay, one only will be the correct answer. Now again, this year as well, from 13th to 15th August, we are supposed to unfurl the flags respectfully in our homes. So India Post will sell national flag through its 1.60 lakh post offices to celebrate Har Ghar Tiranga. Approximately 23 crore families put a flag up their houses so that they can show patriotism to their country. Again, this year we are expected to do so. So the hoisting, use, display of the Indian national flag is governed by two acts. First is the Prevention of Insults to National Honor Act of 1971 and the Flag Code of India 2002. The Flag Code of India 2002 has been amended by Order 30th December 2021. And according to that amendment, the national flag which was made up of polyester or machine-made flag, they have been allowed. Earlier, khadi, hand-spun, these were allowed. But now polyester and machine-made are also allowed. Okay. A member of the private or public organization or an educational institution may hoist, display the national flag on all days and occasion, according to the amendment. Okay. Ceremonial times it can also be used, consistent with the dignity and honor of the national flag. How you hoist it. Other than this, the Flag Code of India 2002 was amended again, dated 19th July 2002. Here, it was given that where the flag is displayed in open or displayed on the house of a member of public, it may be flown day or night. Again, this was for Har Ghar Tiranga campaign only. Moving on. The national flag shall be rectangular in shape. And I have already told you about the ratio. Whenever the national flag is displayed, it should occupy a position of honor, should be distinctly placed. It should not be in a damaged or disheveled flag. It should not be in a damaged or disheveled condition. Disheveled means untidy, not good looking. The flag should not be flown on any vehicle except of the dignitaries which have been mentioned in section 9 of Part 3 of the Flag Code of India, such as for the President, Vice President, Prime Minister, Governors, etc. So there is a provision under which the people who can put the flags according to their position is also being mentioned. No other flag or bunting should be placed higher or above or side to side by the national flag. This is the dignity and honor of the flag. With respect to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, consider the following statements. The IPCC is an organization of governments that are members of the United Nations or World Meteorological Organization. It does not conduct its research. So far, the IPCC has had 6 assessment cycles during which it released 6 comprehensive assessment reports. So what do we have to see? We have to see how many of the statements is or are not correct. See, IPCC, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, does not conduct its research. This is very correct. It actually assesses whatever peer-reviewed scientific journals have been published. So second statement for that very fact is correct. The IPCC is an organization that has 195 members, and these are the members of the United Nations or WMO. This is also correct. And so far, the IPCC has released 6 assessment cycles. It releases assessment through different cycles. So far, 6 have been concluded, and a synthesis report was published this year only, earlier this year. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3. All 3 are actually correct. None will be the correct answer because we had to select the not correct statement. The IPCC on Friday concluded, that is last Friday, concluded its selection, marking the beginning of the 7th assessment cycle. 6 have already been completed, and the IPCC is the United Nations body for assessing the science related to climate change. It was established by the World Meteorological Organization and United Nations Environment Program in the year 1988. Now UPSC can move beyond this. These are just things that are written in bullet somewhere or the other, but what if it asks you about in-depth, such as the assessment, number of assessments it has done, or does it conduct its own research or not. So we have to move beyond the superficial knowledge, all right? And it assesses scientific, technical and socio-economic information. It also says about the understanding of human-induced climate change, potential impacts of it, and what do we do for mitigation and adaptation. Main activity is the preparation of report assessing the state of knowledge of climate change. It produces assessment reports, special reports and methodology adopted as well. It doesn't engage itself in scientific research. It asks the scientists from around the world to peer review these scientific revelations that have been done. It works through 3 working groups. There is first working group which looks at the physics of climate change, second looks at the change impacts and adaptation, and third focuses on change mitigation. So you have to remember this as well, because it can be asked you in the form of matching. Which pairs given above is or are correctly matched. Consider the following pairs. Cyber attack, we have to see what mode of operation they adopt. Zero-day attack, web browser. Phishing, malicious link in the email. Ransomware, attackers logs or encrypts the victim's data. So what do we have to see? We have to see how many pairs given above is or are correct. Recently, Akira, a ransomware, has been flagged by many international organizations. And that is why this question has been asked. See, zero-day attack is done when the vendor who is manufacturing does not even know that there is a vulnerability, and using that vulnerability, the attacker can exploit your data. So it is generally done through web browsers. Phishing is when I am sending you an email. Suppose I am an attacker. I am sending you an email and a link has been given. If you click on that link, I will steal your credentials. I can steal your password. I can steal your credit card details. I can steal your bank details. So this is phishing. Next is ransomware. Ransomware is the worst. It will take hostage of your data. It will enter your data, encrypt the information. You will not be able to access it. Now, I as an attacker can threaten you that I will publish your data or I will not give you access to the data. Now, if you give me money or any ransom that I can ask, if you give me that, then only I will decrypt your data and send it back to you. So this is how ransomware works. This is a part of malware only. All 3 are actually correct. All 3 will be the correct answer. Now, Akira recently has been flagged. Akira is a new family of ransomware. I have already told you what ransomware is. It was used for cyber attacks in countries such as the USA and Canada. It is very different from the Akira that was flagged by the Microsoft Defender in the year 2017. And Akira uses a double extortion technique. First, it will exfiltrate and encrypt the data to increase the chances of extracting money from the person whose data it has a hold of. Now, there are many types of cyber threats. Let's know some things about them. Malware is a virus which can be ransomware, spyware. It can spy on you, what you are doing. It can be a ransomware, encrypt your data, threat to publish it in exchange of any extortion. Then we have phishing. I've already told you about that. There is also man in the middle. Suppose there are two people. This is the virus person who is actually the man in the middle. You both are talking to each other about important things. You both are government employees. Now, this man in the middle will filter out the important data, and then this is how it attacks. Then we also have zero-day exploit. I've already told you about that. Ransomware, DNS attack, advanced persistent threats. These are all different types of cyber data, cyber security threats, not data, sorry. Now, let's move on to the practice question. The Justice Rohini Commission recently seen in the news is related to. These are the many given options. You have to choose the correct answer. Let me take the names of those students who have answered my last question correctly, okay? So, many of you have actually answered it correctly. Let me take the names of you all. 1st August was the correct answer, okay? And Simran has answered it correctly. Also Rahil, Mandeep, Vivek, Komal, Riya, Santosh, Priya, Ishan, Rachakund. Then somebody I have already told you, please use your names if your username is not readable. Then Om Sharma, Shubham, Syed, Khushi. Thank you, Khushi. Also Priyadarshan, Padmashri, Kasturi, Abhishek, Utkarsh. Yes, Abhishek, start answer writing soon. Prosit, Shalini, Tejas, Siddharth, Vignesh, Yalalinga, Pooja, Bishru, Abhiraj. Yes, Abhiraj, very good. You have written in a sentence. Prakhar, Kapil, Yash, Yash Jain, Mansi. Other than this, I have other group of students who have answered it correctly. Mayur has answered it correctly. Usman, Renbo Thungezung, then Himanshi Kashyap, Raskeria, also Manjunath, NDA, Ankur Singh, Parv Sharma, Mukul. Yes. Congratulations to all who have answered it correctly. Please answer this question as well so that in the upcoming class again I can take your names. Thank you so much.
StudyIQ IAS. अब तैयारी हुई अफोर्डेबल।